Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As of today, Sunday, January 11th, 2026, the markets are closed, but activity around STRV Inc. and its ETF is heating up fast. The STRV 500 ETF, trading under the ticker STRV on the New York Stock Exchange, closed Friday at $44.84 after touching a new 52-week high during the session. That move might not look dramatic on the surface, but it tells a much bigger story about what's happening behind the scenes at STRV. Most investors still see STRV as just another index-style ETF, similar to products from Vanguard or BlackRock. But that's no longer the full picture. The real story is unfolding at the parent company, STRV Inc., which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker AST. STRV is in the middle of a major strategic shift, and the market is only starting to notice. STRV is transforming itself into what could become the first publicly traded Bitcoin-focused asset management and treasury company. They are no longer just selling ETFs. They are building a digital asset war chest, acquiring businesses, and preparing to launch a large-scale digital credit operation later this year. This creates a unique situation. On one side, you have STRV, a low-cost passive ETF that looks safe and stable. On the other side, you have AST, the parent company, making bold, high-risk, high-reward moves around Bitcoin, digital finance, and corporate governance. Most people think STRV is simply an anti-ESG, pro-capitalism investment brand. That was the old story. The new story is that STRV wants to become the MicroStrategy of asset management, using Bitcoin as a treasury asset while influencing how corporations manage capital. STRV has voting power inside more than 1,800 public companies through the shares held in its ETFs. That gives them a powerful seat at the table. They are pushing companies to think differently about cash, inflation, and the role of Bitcoin as a store of value. Now let's look at what the market is doing. The STRV ETF has been holding a weak but consistent uptrend even while global markets have been volatile due to interest rates, inflation concerns, and geopolitical risks. On Friday, volume jumped, showing real buying interest as the price pushed higher. That kind of volume during a breakout is a bullish technical sign. Institutional interest is also growing. Wealth managers and investment platforms are beginning to look for alternatives to the big three: BlackRock, Vanguard, and Fidelity. STRV is positioning itself as the independent, shareholder-first option in a market dominated by massive corporations. If you check the top holdings of STRV, you'll still see familiar names like Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. But the difference is not what STRV owns. It's how they vote and how they use their influence. Their ETF business gives them stable income with a low 0.05% expense ratio, which makes it competitive with the biggest players in the industry. At the same time, STRV Inc. is running an aggressive strategy at the corporate level. Their merger with Similar Scientific in late 2025 was a major turning point. It showed they are no longer just managing assets. They are becoming a principal investor, using structured finance and derivatives to accumulate Bitcoin without heavily diluting shareholders. That's a sophisticated move for a company this size. STRV has also been very vocal about what they see as the failure of modern corporate America to focus on profits. They have sent letters to major companies pushing for a return to shareholder-first decision-making. Whether you agree with their politics or not, the financial reality is that they are creating a powerful brand that attracts investors who want something different from traditional asset managers. Looking at the financials, STRV has been quietly improving. Their Q3 2025 results showed rising revenues and better capital efficiency. Some of their preferred shares are now paying dividends over 12%, which signals growing financial stability and confidence from management. They have also moved some of their funds to the New York Stock Exchange and switched to Bloomberg benchmarks, making their products more attractive to institutional investors. Looking forward, STRV's future is tied to two things: Bitcoin and their governance strategy. If Bitcoin continues to gain acceptance as a reserve asset, STRV's approach could look brilliant. If Bitcoin struggles, AST will face more volatility. There are also major catalysts coming. The planned launch of their digital credit and lending business in mid-2026 could dramatically increase revenue and margins. Any major win where a big company publicly acknowledges STRV's influence would also be a huge validation. On the technical side, STRV is in a rising channel. Momentum indicators are improving, and the ETF is approaching the psychological $45 level. A break above that area could attract more traders and institutions. To sum it up, STRV was once seen as a small ideological player. Now it's becoming a serious financial innovator, combining ETFs, Bitcoin, corporate governance, and digital finance into one platform. The market is only beginning to understand this shift. Watch the volume, the filings, and Bitcoin's price closely. The gap between what investors think STRV is and what it